You need to hear this because most people never notice when this moment arrives. The second you stopped running after them, they felt the change almost immediately. But it was not the reaction you might have expected. It was not a feeling of freedom, comfort, or simple carelessness. Instead, they noticed something much deeper. They felt a sudden and powerful awareness that shook their thoughts from the inside. It created a moment of clarity that forced them to look at feelings they had ignored for a long time. When you stop chasing someone, the world around you does not just shift in small and invisible ways. A much bigger change begins to happen. The person you were once constantly giving your attention to starts experiencing a quiet emotional struggle within themselves. They may not show it on the outside, but something starts changing inside their mind. They begin to feel the empty space where your attention, effort, and energy used to exist. It is a space they never truly understood until it was gone. That empty space suddenly feels much larger than they expected. They were comfortable with your presence, your messages, your care, and the way you always showed up. They became used to receiving that energy without thinking about its value. Now, when the silence appears, they are forced to face a situation they were never prepared for. They start feeling confused, uncomfortable, and uncertain without even knowing the exact reason behind those emotions. If you want to understand the deeper psychological truth about what happens when you stop chasing someone, understand this carefully. Most people completely misunderstand this moment. Your absence is not simply an absence in their mind. It becomes something like a mirror. It reflects parts of themselves that they tried to avoid seeing before. It reveals thoughts, fears, and emotions that were hidden beneath their normal behavior. They slowly begin to realize that the feeling of control they once had over the situation is no longer there. They cannot depend on your constant attention anymore. They cannot assume you will always be waiting, always responding, or always trying to keep the connection alive. When that sense of control disappears, their inner world can become restless. Their thoughts begin searching for answers they do not easily find. Their mind starts bringing forward uncomfortable truths that they may not want to accept. The things they avoided during the day can return when everything becomes quiet at night. They start questioning their own actions and their own feelings. They begin wondering whether they truly valued you as a person or whether they only valued the way your attention made them feel important. And now that you are no longer constantly present, that false image begins to weaken. They start seeing the difference between real connection and the comfort they received from knowing you were always there. They may not fully understand this while they are awake and distracted, but deep inside, a conflict begins. One part of them hopes things will return to normal, while another part fears that something important has already changed forever. That internal battle can create a quiet emotional storm. They begin imagining your life continuing without them. They picture you moving forward, creating new memories, sharing smiles with others, and enjoying moments where they are no longer the center of your attention. Every thought of you being happy without them can create feelings they struggle to explain. But here is the part many people do not expect. What they feel is not only missing you, there can also be frustration, fear, regret, and guilt mixed together. These emotions can appear in unexpected ways. They may act differently, become more curious, or show behaviors that seem confusing. Their actions may not always match what they truly feel inside. Many people avoid facing these emotions directly. They try to ignore the discomfort and pretend nothing has changed. They convince themselves that everything is fine. But when you step back and stop chasing, you remove the distraction. You leave them alone with the feelings they were able to avoid before. By creating distance, you allow them to experience the silence they never thought they would have to face. Something deep inside them begins to wake up. Something hidden beneath layers of excuses, pride, and self-protection starts becoming stronger. The thoughts they pushed away for a long time begin coming back to the surface. The inner voice that stayed quiet before becomes louder. It starts asking questions they cannot easily ignore. It reminds them of the connection they had with you and the moments they shared with you. They begin remembering conversations, messages, expressions, and small details that once seemed ordinary. They look back at every interaction and try to understand where things changed. They examine their own choices and they think about your reactions too. They search for the moment when the distance started growing. They try to understand what they could have done differently and whether there is still a way to rebuild what was lost. This is where things become difficult for them. They may feel a strong desire to take action, not always because they have a clear plan, but because the human mind struggles with uncertainty. People naturally want answers when something feels unfinished. They want to close open doors and understand situations that no longer make sense. Your silence creates a level of uncertainty they cannot easily control. From your side, you may feel that stepping away is simply peaceful. You may think your absence is quiet and harmless. But sometimes, silence can become one of the strongest messages because it forces people to notice what they previously ignored. The moment they understand that they can no longer make you chase them is when their confident outer image begins to weaken. The image they created starts showing cracks. The emotions they buried and the thoughts they avoided begin rising again. Things they tried to push away for years can slowly come back into their awareness. That is the difficult part because the calm person they show to the outside world may no longer match what they feel internally. They struggle to understand their own emotions. They try to make sense of feelings that seem unfamiliar and confusing. Even when they search for explanations, some answers remain difficult to accept. Through your silence, you have become a reminder of everything they avoided facing. But the story does not end here. Something else begins after this moment, something they cannot predict and something they may not even understand yet. The silence you created is not empty. It works like a mirror that reflects the things they have been avoiding for a long time. That reflection becomes harder to ignore with each passing moment. They cannot easily stop thinking about it because the space you left behind carries a message they were not ready to hear. If you have ever walked away and noticed a change in someone who once took your presence for granted, you understand this feeling. The truth is that uncertainty can sometimes feel more overwhelming than direct rejection. Rejection has a clear answer, it has a definite shape, but absence feels different because it leaves questions behind. It feels like an empty space where their deepest fears and worries are free to create their own stories. And this is where everything starts becoming complicated for them. They begin noticing every small thing they ignored before, every pause in a conversation, every delayed reply, every smile that does not include them starts feeling meaningful. Each small change in your attention affects their inner thoughts like a powerful shock. They replay moments that once seemed unimportant. That joke you laughed at without them being there. That short glance you gave to someone else. That message you did not respond to immediately. All of these moments return again and again inside their mind. During this endless replay, they begin searching for signs or what they think are signs. Their thoughts desperately try to create an explanation for everything. Their pride struggles with situations that have no clear answers, and unclear answers are exactly what your distance has created. Here is the silent fear that slowly starts growing inside them. They begin questioning their own decisions. Did they misunderstand you? Did they ask for too much? Did they fail to appreciate you when they had the opportunity? Every hidden insecurity rises like an old memory coming back to visit them. Many people do not realize that the mind does not simply accept losing something without a fight. It searches for a way to repair the situation. When it cannot find a real solution, it creates one by itself. It builds stories, explanations, and reasons to bring back a sense of control. And how does this show in their behavior? At first, it appears in small ways, like a sudden desire to contact you or a quiet curiosity about your life. Then it becomes stronger through repeated thoughts, memories, and dreams about changing what happened. Regret begins to feel painful and heavy. They start feeling trapped inside their own thoughts because your silence has activated something very basic within them. The realization that they can no longer get your attention through pressure, manipulation, or charm. This is often the moment when many people begin struggling mentally because the human mind does not like feeling powerless or having no control. Deep inside, they face a hidden fear that they may lose you forever. Comment if this is showing how their subconscious reacts when you become silent. This fear does not come from clear logic. It comes from deeper instincts inside the mind. the part that wants answers, wants connection, and wants immediate action. And here is the difficult truth many people avoid. Their subconscious begins creating plans before their conscious thoughts even understand what is happening. They may tell themselves that they need to show they care more, or that they need to make you chase them again. Sometimes they may even feel the need to make you regret leaving. When pride feels wounded, people can begin seeing situations differently. The image they tried to maintain starts falling apart. The reasons they created and the roles they played begin disappearing. And this is where everything starts feeling deeply personal to them. They are now facing powerful emotions they do not know how to handle. Feelings of desire, jealousy, guilt, and embarrassment mix together until everything feels overwhelming. Yet they still cannot respond calmly. They move between two different emotional worlds. One where they strongly want your attention, and another where they fear their own feelings. One where they want to reconnect with you, and another where they feel frustrated with themselves for needing you so much. The strange part is that you did not really do anything. You simply stopped chasing them, but by doing something so simple, you awakened the deepest and most hidden parts of their thoughts. The parts they have buried for years. The parts they are too uncomfortable to admit even to themselves. The quiet voices that appear during lonely moments, saying they feel weak, they are not enough, and they want something that feels difficult to reach. Many people try to escape these emotions as quickly as possible. They search for distractions or try to explain their feelings away with logic. But this is not something that simple reasoning can easily remove. This is a deep emotional reaction appearing in their everyday life. And this is where things can begin changing quickly. The longer you remain distant, the stronger their inner conflict becomes. They start noticing things about you that they ignored before. The confidence in the way you carry yourself, the way you smile without needing them, the way your life continues moving forward peacefully. Every new thing they notice feels painful. Every new realization increases the pressure inside them, yet they remain stuck between fear and desire, between what they deeply want and what they are willing to accept. In that uncertain space, they begin imagining situations they never considered before. Dreams of gaining control again, dreams of reconnecting, and even thoughts of proving something because your distance has revealed the honest truth. You are not someone they can control or possess. You never truly were. And that truth affects them deeply. The question now is this: they are becoming aware, even if they do not fully understand it yet. Their own thoughts have started challenging them, and they do not know where this emotional journey will take them next. False ideas can appear without any major effort. Many people think that facing someone always requires direct action, but they are wrong about that. Creating distance can also be a powerful way to face a situation. Staying quiet can carry a strong message too. Refusing to chase someone can become the strongest choice of all. Now their inner world begins to wake up in a powerful way. The wishes they pushed away for a long time start coming back. The false explanations they created for themselves begin rising again. The pride and resistance they depended on start moving like a strong wave. They begin to experience a strange mixture of emotions. A strong desire appears together with anger. Care becomes mixed with fear. Hope becomes tangled with regret. They may find themselves staring at their phone with their fingers ready to send a message. They know they should not do it, but they feel a strong pull that makes it difficult to stop. In that uncertain moment, the distance inside them becomes even deeper. Every person carries hidden fears, private worries, and secret desires. When life moves in a way they cannot control, those hidden parts become louder. They search for a way to come out. They may try to appear calm and logical from the outside, but the deeper part of their mind does not hide the truth. It speaks softly. It pulls strongly. It keeps returning again and again. Through your absence, that deep emotional pull has started growing inside them. They create images in their mind that feel completely real. They imagine you enjoying your life without them. They picture you moving ahead without looking back or thinking about them anymore. Every one of these thoughts touches their pride. Every picture reminds them that they cannot control you or take back the choice you made to hold yourself away. And this is where the most difficult part begins. This is the stage where repeated thoughts and intense focus can develop because the human mind dislikes empty spaces more than it dislikes discomfort. The inner self struggles to remain without answers. When no explanation is available, the mind quickly creates one. They begin searching for reasons and hidden meanings. They replay old conversations again and again, examining every small detail. Every memory becomes like a sharp point turned toward themselves. Every question they ask and every story they create inside their mind reflects a fear that is trying to appear like normal thinking. Deep below the surface, basic emotions begin taking control. The older part of the mind that existed before careful thinking and rules simply wants and reacts. It starts creating plans, not through clear thoughts, but through deeper emotional reactions. And you remain at the center of that inner struggle. They may feel the urge to contact you, check on you, or create some reaction from you, because when someone feels your absence deeply, their sense of control begins to disappear. Desire and fear begin fighting against clear thinking. The inner world becomes unstable under the pressure of something it cannot handle. The tension grows because they still cannot fully release their attachment. Every sign of your independent life affects them. Every update, every reminder, and every sign that you continue without them creates a strong emotional impact. The difficult part is that you cannot see the storm happening inside them. They are trapped inside thoughts and emotions, caught in a confusion that began simply because you stepped away. Comment vacuum if you have noticed them trying desperately to fill the empty space you left. This is not only normal emotional pain, it becomes a mental pressure that changes how they understand everything. It makes their attention stronger and increases every hidden insecurity and fear. The hardest part for them is that they do not fully understand why they feel this way. Their logical side tries to stay calm, but their deeper emotions have already started taking control. They become trapped in the uncertainty you created, in the unknown, and in the silence that feels louder than any spoken words. Still, they show very little on the outside, at least for now. The struggle continues quietly within them. This is where this part ends, with their thoughts becoming unstable and their emotions reaching a difficult point. Their desire is mixed with fear. Their wishes are damaged by regret. Their focus has grown stronger and harder to control. They are moving closer to a breaking point. And when the mind reaches this stage, almost breaking can create either a major change or complete confusion. The center of their emotional storm is you. This is the moment they unknowingly move toward. Your absence has slowly completed its quiet work. Your decision not to chase has broken the idea that they were always in control. Now the outer image begins to disappear. They look into the empty space you created and start seeing their real self. Not the person they show to others, but the honest, uncertain, and fearful person underneath. And the frightening truth is that they do not like what they see there. They dislike their weakness, their need, and their fear of losing someone. They dislike the powerful pull they feel, but they cannot ignore it. They cannot simply erase it, because your absence revealed something that chasing never could.